Yo, it's your boy Dctree, and this is Dctree-Nation, the channel on YouTube that covers hoops and heroes. And today we're talking hoops. We're talking about San Antonio Spurs, y'all. And I came across this on Spurs News Online, and I gotta tell you, man, as soon as I saw the article, I snapped.
Oh, hell no!
Because before we get deep into the article, I'm just offended that Lonnie Walker is on the list with Luka Samanic. They should not be in the same sentence, the same paragraph, the same arena on anything dealing with underperformance, okay? Luka barely made it on the floor. Lonnie has been playing for the Spurs rather consistently for years, okay? Now his skills and his scoring hasn't been consistent, but he's been actually playing on the court. So I was offended by that.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
So I'm just offended by that. The fact that he's considered a bust, because that's not my definition of a bust. And I won't give you my definition in a second. But then it clicks in my head. I was a little slow, but it clicks in my head. They're not just saying he's a bust. They're saying he's the second largest bust in Spurs history. What?
Come on, man, damn!
I mean, he hasn't been perfect by no means. I get that, and he has a ways to go. And as of this video, he may still leave the Spurs, but I think it's still too early to consider him a bust. And even if he does leave, I don't think he's a bust, is he? To me, a bust is a player that rarely plays, that finds himself outside the league, or a player that was drafted really high, like a lottery pick, and just completely sucks. Or someone that was a #1 pick and that is just a complete role player. Lonnie Walker was picked number 18 in the first round, which I get is not necessarily like the second round or something like that, but still, you know, he's been doing pretty solid given the circumstances. But before I jump too deep into it, if you like my content, please sub to the channel, hit that like button, don't forget to hit that bell for more videos. Thank you so much for the continued support. Okay, in defense of Lonnie Walker, I would not consider him a bust because he has had big games for the Spurs. He has produced, he has exploded, he has had, you know, a whole lot of highlights as well. And I know that doesn't necessarily transition to wins, but we're not losing. We're not a lottery team because of Lonnie Walker. We're a lottery team because we got a lot of people developing. We got a lot of holes in the roster. Lonnie Walker, he's averaging 23 minutes per game, okay? 23 minutes per game, and he's averaging 12 points a game, okay? 12 points, you know, 2 assists, 3 rebounds, you know, about a half a steal, shooting about 40% from the field. That's not stellar, that's not great, but that's acceptable, especially when you consider something like the growth model. You know, he's not necessarily, you know, shooting it out the park, but he's improved on his points per game every season since he's been with the Spurs. And really, those first 2 seasons were really rough when it came to consistent minutes for Lonnie Walker. And you have to take into account that he didn't get really hardcore minutes until Derek White was traded and forwards were traded. So that second half of the season, or heck, even less than that, probably like what, 20-25 games, he was able to play and break out and show us what he had, and he played a lot better. Now he still has struggles with consistency and shooting and whatnot. He's shooting around like 32% from 3, which has to improve, and I get that. But those aren't bust numbers when you're the 18th pick and you're only getting 20 minutes a game. Now, you can make the argument that maybe he should be killing people in practice and earning more than 20 minutes per game. You can make that argument, but we all have had frustrations with Popovich's, you know, rotations, and they're not necessarily fair all the time, if we're being honest. And to defend Pop, you had a lot of wing players to juggle, you know, before the White trade. You had Primo that was trying to develop. You got White. Then you got Forbes. Then you got Murray. Then you got Trey Jones. You know, then you had Keldon, which was a power forward, but really kind of like a wing player in itself. So it was just so much going on with this rotation. And when Lonnie Walker got consistent minutes, the end of last year, he got better. He performed better. we have to, I think the jury is out on Lonnie Walker as far as being a bust. A bust? Come on now. Not no bust, man. A bust is, Nando Di Colo. Y'all don't even know who that is, do y'all, man? The true Spurs fans remember Colo. Colo was supposed to be the next Ginobili, basically, y'all. That's a bust for the Spurs, daggone John Charles. This Joker was supposed to be the next French small forward for the Spurs. Played with Tony Parker on the French team and everything. This Joker couldn't even make the team. We like, holy crap, we waited for this dude for like 2 years. He didn't make the team, man. And then you talking about Mahinmi? Oh my God, Ian Mahinmi. He's supposed to be the truth. This Joker sucked with us, went to the Mavs, and won a championship. I'm like, oh my gosh, those are Spurs busts. Okay, those are Spurs busts. And oh yeah, and don't forget, oh man, James Anderson. Okay, that's another bust. So don't get me wrong, I understand that these players weren't taken as high as the 18th pick in the first round, but good God, man, I don't see Lonnie Walker being a bust, period. But even if you do see him as a bust, how in the hell is he the second biggest bust in Spurs history? I don't agree with this article at all. Not at all, man. You talking about overkill, man. Super overkill. And I do think one of the issues with Lonnie Walker, and this isn't necessarily his fault, and I don't think his fans' faults either, it's just one of those things that, you see Lonnie Walker and how athletic he is and how gifted he is in the air. I mean, he is literally a Skywalker. So that name works perfectly for him. You see how good he is athletically, you expect more from him. You expect him to dominate more than he actually does. So then that creates a larger gap of expectation because you're a high flyer, you're an entertaining player. You're probably the most athletic person on the team, usually on the floor. Why aren't you dominating? So I get that from both perspectives. I get the fan perspective on that, and I get Lonnie's perspective too, because this game takes a lot more than just athleticism. Usually, think about it this way. Usually those cats that's in the dunk contest suck. They're not very good all around players most of the time. So we have to kind of curve our expectations. But with that said, man, to call him a bust, I think is just unfair. I think it's inaccurate. I feel like, this guy could very well come back to the Spurs this season and have a big year because he may be a consistent starter. He may actually get more than 20 minutes a game consistently the entire year to show us what he has. But the Spurs, they just have a big decision to make about re-signing this guy because we're in a great draft with great forwards and guards. We can start from scratch with some more talented players, or we can run with who we have, Primo for instance, and see if he develops and if he's ready to go. So we're in a tough spot, although I agree he's not a guarantee, Spur next season. He's definitely not a bust in my opinion. Alright guys, that's it for this one. Please check out the other videos on the channel. Don't forget that superhero playlist. Let me know in the comment section if you feel like Lonnie Walker is a bust. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.